Hi everybody. So since our discussion of theoretical physics went over longer than it was supposed to, I'm asking you to watch this video, which is about our first major writing assignment of the year. I will give you a ton more information about it next week, but for now I want you to do a little bit of brainstorming over the weekend, just trying to think of potential things you might talk about, and then next week we'll refine your ideas and think about some other things you might want to think about. All right, so let's start off with what a definition of narrative essay is. All right, so our definition for narrative nonfiction. I mean, narrative is essentially a word that you'll see lots of times. The word narrative basically just means anything that is sort of telling a story. And if I'm remembering my Latin roots correctly, I believe you should recognize the Latin root narr there, which I think means tell. But maybe that's not even in word within a word. I don't remember. But anyway, so narrative nonfiction is a story that is true, something that's happened to you, something that you are a main character in, but it's going to read like fiction and contain the elements of fiction. So, for instance, examples would be things like a memoir, a personal essay, and a biography. Now, we're going to, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be working on the essay, and this is going to be your first sort of major assignment. And there's going to be a little bit of a twist to it that has to do with our theme of perspective, but we'll talk more about that. All right, so let's talk about what I want you to do over the weekend. So what I want you to do is I want you to just find a piece of paper, a piece of computer paper would probably be best, and you're going to sort of do some brainstorming on it. Now, I'm going to be doing it on the computer, but I think it's probably, I mean, you can do it on Google Drive if you want to. I think it's faster to just do it on a piece of paper. So what I'd like you to do in the middle is to just draw a circle, or an oval if you prefer, I guess. And in that, you're going to write probably the broadest category you could ever think of, which is life events. And what we're doing is a graphic organizer that I'm sure you've done before in some classes, probably even in writing for essays, and that is a web. And so what I want you to do is I want you to think about what are the categories that we could break life events down into. So here are some possibilities. I'm going to type them in right now. So I think there are two types of categories you could go for. All right, the first one would probably be some sort of adjective. So life events that are blank. So I'm going to say, let's start off with exciting. All right, so life events that are exciting. So you could write any number of categories, draw some lines, draw some circles that are exciting. All right, and then the other one would be like a noun. So you could break it into categories based on like what it is. So for instance, I'm going to write down the event school, and you can see that's a noun, and so that's the other kind. It's kind of like a classification of what kind of event it is. So the first step I would like you guys to do for your brainstorming is I would like you to develop a bunch of like first level ideas for types of events. Probably only need to spend maybe 5 minutes on it, but I would think you could be able to come up with 10 or 15 of these little circles in 5 minutes. And like I said, they'll probably be either adjectives or nouns. All right, and then once you do that, there's going to be a second level. And for the second level, I'd like you to pick a couple of them. Don't do all of them because that will be too much, I think. But just pick maybe 3 or 4 of those other ones and try to break those into smaller ones. So for instance, in my example of school, and you see it's kind of zoomed in here a little bit, I've got different ways I could classify them. So maybe one way is I could classify them by grades. So I'm going to say, okay, everything that happened in second grade. And then maybe I could have another one that's like classes, so things that happen in English, things that happen in math. Maybe I could have friends. I could have clubs. I could have lots of things. I could have field trips. And I could also have adjectives. I could say boring parts of school, exciting parts of school, surprising parts of school, things like that. All right, so that's the second thing I would like you to do is to spend another 5 or 10 minutes breaking that down. And then once you do that, then I would actually like you to go out and start doing a third level where you sort of start going in and writing in things that are actually events. So what's an event that happened to me in second grade? Oh, I remember one. Still makes me angry to this day. All right, so let me write it. Let me change my thing so you can see what I'm going to write. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. What I want to do is just change it to something that you can see. Okay, so I'm going to write an event that I came in second grade. I'm going to get a text box here. And I'm going to write that I was accused of cheating on a spelling test. All right, so that's a story I could write about if I remember enough about it. And that's just a true story. it made me angry. I finished it in like 2 minutes, and the teacher was like, "You couldn't possibly have finished it that fast. You cheated," and that made me angry. I remember all the times that someone accused me of cheating falsely. 11th grade, I was accused of plagiarizing a poem, and that was not true. I had written it myself, and she said it was too good to be mine, so I was angry about that. All right, so you can see, just go in and put events there, and that will be part of it. So, okay, you already spent 5 minutes watching this video. Then you will spend maybe 5 to 7 minutes on each level, starting off with taking this to this, then taking this to this. So probably 15 plus 5. So you're looking at like 20 to 30 minutes. If you don't go over 30 minutes, if you do that, if you get to 30 minutes, you can stop because you've done enough. But you want to bring that in on Monday. I will check it, and we will start doing it. And I might count it as part of the writing process, which means it's going to count a little bit more than a normal homework assignment, because I tend to do that. So we have a large category of writing grades, and this might be the first writing grade, because it is part of our writing process. All right, so we'll give you a lot more information. Enjoy that over the weekend. Thank you. Goodbye.